on, Lions.
Quick pass. It's Cooks. Blockers ahead. Cooks turns on the Jets. Cooks. See you later. Touch. Winds up. Touchdown Detroit. Josh Reynolds. 22 yards. Easy bang.
Allen with time. He fires to the end zone. Diggs. Touchdown. Nice little pass rush move. When you create pressure, what happens? Tips, overthrows, that's what happens. Hits the arm.
Here we go, 4th and 6. He's going to have to hang on to the ball for a second and try and find someone over the middle. Here comes the rush. Here's the throw. Oh, tackle by Joe Hayden.
Going up then, he really enjoyed watching Todd Gurley.
Bridgewater out of the pocket. Bridgewater, good run as he dives across the 35 and took a hit. And Bridgewater is down. Teddy Bridgewater catapulted himself, trying to get the first down. And the athletic training staff for both teams are now out there as
Four times his worst in the interception department ever. It spikes again. 31-0.
And off, Sammy gets a break. Down a gap. 40-35 race to the goal line. Breaks one more bump and down to the 5. That'll do it. The Dolphins have defeated the New England Patriots 21-0.
And that is it. The New Orleans Saints come to Tampa and shockingly shut out.
Woo! Let's go, baby. Clinch the division. Get in the north. Bully with a 5-8 on the hump. No one do a thing where you go to Jimmy's for crab cakes. Let's go. Nick Witter, what a W. 30-37 to her. Congrats on clinching the division pack. Calvin.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Funfell. We got the Week 15 recap. There were 10 games we have to do, of course, as you can see. Raiders are winning 7-0 in the second quarter. They're right there. But first game we're doing, of course, this was a really good week of football. Honestly, there were some big upsets. Here. Where was it? In here. But yeah, first game we're doing is going to be Texans-Jags. This game was honestly not a really bad game. Texans came out with it 30-16. They go to 3-11. Jags fall to 2-12. Worst record in the NFL. Could be the worst team in the NFL also. But yeah, for the Texans offense, Davis Mills 19 of 30, 209, 2 touchdowns, a pick. Rex Burkhead 16 for 41, led the team. Not great. Brandon Cooks had a good game, 7 for 102, 2 touchdowns. Philip Dorsett had a couple catches. Same thing with Jordan Akins, Nico Collins, and Chris Conley. But I said run the ball efficiently, 3 plays of over 40 yards. Their offense, honestly, they weren't great, but they weren't terrible either. They did put up 30 points. You got to remember that. But they did really move the ball kind of well. They kind of stalled out when they got past the Jags 40-yard line. But honestly, they were getting an underscore. They didn't run the ball well. They were playing a bad team. They had some big plays. Of course, Brandon Cooks had a long touchdown on a screen pass. Davis Mills, overall, I said he was decent. I think he was decent. He had a pretty good game. But yeah, they didn't play great, but I wouldn't say they definitely didn't play bad. Defensively, they had 3 sacks. Garrett Wallow had a sack. Chris Smith had one, and Derek Rivers. Derek Rivers, not if he's the first one ever. Roy Lopez, though, he's a good player. He had a couple tackles. Honestly, I watched him play. Roy Lopez is one of those guys you just can't say bad things about. Neville Ute, of course, getting his tackles in because he is an awful cover for linebacker. But for the Texans, stop the run, force turnovers. Honestly, I don't think they did anything special, but I will give them an underscore. Trevor Lawrence struggled, but they didn't really do much to make me happy. But they did have 3 sacks. They did stop the run decently well, so I won't say they played bad. Now for the Jags coming on the losing end. Trevor Lawrence was 22 for 38, 210. Of course, he wasn't good, but I wouldn't say he was terrible. When they run the ball with James Robinson, he does his job. 18 for 75 and a touchdown. He's their best player right now. Honestly, I don't even really think it's close. They have a couple other good players, but he's their best player. James O'Shaughnessy had 1 big catch. Laquan Treadwell still getting some catches in, but he's still one of the biggest bust receivers I can name. Jags, though, I said run the ball recently, no turnovers. They did exactly that. I'm giving him an underscore. They didn't turn over the ball. They honestly didn't really play that bad. Honestly, like, they really didn't. The reason they lost is because their defense was pretty bad. Yeah, they had a sack, they had a pick. Malcolm Brown had a sack, but Miles Jack was not great. Andrew Winger was not great. Shaquille Griffin got toasted a little bit. Honestly, the Jags defense just didn't play well. They gave a couple of really big plays. Like I said, they can't, but they did. And a couple other plays where you just can't have that happen. When you're playing a team that is just straight up better than you. So they get a minus. And then, okay, we're done with this one. That game honestly could have been a lot worse. Okay, Jets Dolphins. This thing was actually a pretty darn good game. Jets came out, and they came up hot. They were up 17-7. They blew the lead. Dolphins held on. Final score is 31-24 Dolphins. They got to play better if they want to beat some good teams. They're now 7-7. Jets fall to 3-11. Jets are bad. Zach Wilson didn't play bad, though. And, yeah, the Dolphins are going to have to play better if they want to make the playoffs. I'm just saying that because they are playing the Saints and Titans back-to-back. Then they play the Patriots at home. All that aside, the Jets offense run the ball efficiently for Zach Wilson. Honestly, they played a really good game. Like Tevin Coleman, Michael Carter. Michael Carter wasn't really good, but when Tevin Coleman was in the game, he ran the ball really well. Braxton Berry scores at a rushing touchdown. Same thing with Zach Wilson, but he had a pretty good game. Honestly, for Zach Wilson, that's a pretty decent game. 13 for 23, 170. A lot of short passes. He did miss on a couple of throws, but honestly, he could have been a lot worse. James Crowder was good in the slot. Ryan Griffin had a couple of big plays. Braxton Berrios, same thing. He had 1 big catch. Keelan Cole had 1, amazing. Just you see these things out of Keelan Cole. It's a nice curl route, nice catch, got down. If you can see these things out of Keelan Cole, he could be a really good receiver because he is a deep threat. He's not the greatest router, doesn't catch everything. That's where you kind of struggle with these receivers. I will give them a plus, though, and here's why. This Jets offense is not good. Their 2 best receivers, Corey Davis and Elijah Moore, are not there. Their offensive line is banged up. Their best player, Mekhi Becton, hasn't played since week 1. Zach Wilson did his best, 13 of 23, 170. They ran the ball. They didn't run the ball well, but if they just, it's decent. 24 points, no turnovers. You're not gonna complain if you're a Jets fan. Defensively, though, they could have played a lot better. Yeah, they had 2 picks and a sack. I think they were really good in the first and second quarter. Until halftime. But they just were not showing up in the second half. This defense is one of the worst in the NFL for a reason. They're not good. Stop the run, double Mike Gesicki. They did double Mike Gesicki. What did he do? He still got catches. Stop the run. Honestly, I'll literally just show you so you know. They did not stop the run. So as a result, they're getting a minus. If you play like that the whole game, I give you a plus. The first half, they played great. But they played really bad in the second half. Oh, and if you care about the sack, who was it? Oh, yeah, Sheldon Rankins. Sheldon Rankins he's still playing well. Tua was bad, 16 of 27, 196, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks. Yeah, you look at those numbers, you're like, it was not good. Tua did not play well. Duke Johnson, though, he was a beast. 22 for 107, 2 touchdowns. That's what you want. Myles Gaskin was really efficient. Tua had a couple of good runs. Other than that, though, honestly, Tua just wasn't great. If he plays like that next week, they're gonna lose. I'm just saying because they are playing a good defense. Yeah, just want to see more of the offense. They had 4 for 68 and touchdown. Devontae Parker finally had a good game. Same thing with Isaiah Ford. Mike Gesicki, like I said, he was doubled. Still wasn't big first downs when it mattered though. Christian Wilkins had a touchdown too. Play action. Albert Wilson, Mike Gesicki. Albert Wilson, I don't think he played. Yeah, he did. He didn't get any catches, though. Mike Gesicki, they did get him the ball, run the ball. They did that. They will get an underscore, too, but here's why they get an underscore. They should get a plus because they did play really well in the second half. Tua can't be throwing 2 picks anymore. I'm sorry, but he's a good quarterback. He's improving. Tua last year, didn't really recover. This year he's recovering. He had 2 picks in the first half. Wasn't great. He's got to play better though. I just need to see a little more consistent. I like Tua, but got to be a little better. Defense at 4, 5, 6 sacks. Tua, Zach Wilson was not doing anything. Stop the run. Don't let Zach Wilson run. I'd say they did that well. They didn't really stop the run great, but they did have 6 sacks, which Jerome Baker was just blitzing the whole game. Where is Jalen Phillips? Jalen Phillips was getting triple a couple of times. It was kind of ridiculous. Because he got to the freshman the first 2 plays on Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson got clobbered on 1 play. It wasn't a sack. It was a quick screen. But, man, they actually learned their lesson there. But Jerome Baker had 2 sacks because they were running these blitz packages. Brandon Jones is a linebacker also. He shouldn't be getting sacks. Same thing with Andrew Van Ginkel. Manuel Ogbah's their only guy out there who should be having a sack, who's not been good this year. Zach Sealer, same thing. I love the Dolphins. I'm not giving a plus. I'll give them an underscore, but I'm not giving them a plus. They give 24 points to the Jets. But also, they were not bad. They were actually pretty good. You just can't give 24 points. Gave some bad touchdowns. Okay, we're done babbling about that game. This one was honestly just kind of what you expected. The Panthers are a really bad team. They've now lost 9 out of their last 11. They are not a good second half team. They collapse every year. They're now 5-9 though. They lost 31-14 over the Bills, who are now 8-6. Oh yeah, Bills fans. I'm not good job. You beat a bad team. I really don't care. Panthers offense was pretty bad though. Cam was 18 of 38, 151, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. If Cam just took care of the ball and had a 10, okay. If I was gonna put it this way, Cam can't throw a ball 45 yards. He did last year. Well, yeah, that's because last year he's not as good as he was last year. He's terrible. Cam has never been an accurate quarterback. Number 1. Number 2, he lost all his arm strength. Number 3, doesn't make any good decisions or take care of the ball. Or that's 4. 4 issues, major issues. Cam, you need to have with a good quarterback. That's about it. A couple years ago, he was making those throws. 2018, making those throws. Then he shattered his shoulder, and then you knew what happened. Yeah, Cam was bad. 18 of 38, 156, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. Okay, you didn't run the ball, though. Same thing with Chuba Hubbard. They only get 8 carries, though. That's my issue. Run the ball efficiently, no turnovers. They did throw Cam threw a pick. They did have a couple 4th down where they couldn't do anything. They did run the ball efficiently, though. I'm not giving them an underscore. I'll give them an underscore. It was against the Bills. I'll give them that. They were able to run the ball, but, other than that, they couldn't do anything. DJ Moore and Robbie Anderson are, ballistic. They haven't had a good receiver since last year. Honestly, they should have just kept Teddy Bridgewater. He's been better than any quarterback since Cam in 2018. I'm not kidding. Cam in 2018, first 8 weeks of that season, he was great. Honestly, he was in the MVP conversation. But they haven't had a good quarterback since then. And DJ Moore was on the team, but Robbie Anderson never had a good quarterback. That's his excuse. Teddy Bridgewater's been good, honestly, but that's about it. Their defense still had 4 sacks to pick. They were not great, but they weren't bad. Considering how bad their offense was and they're always on the field, I will give them the benefit of the doubt. Hold Josh Allen under 300 yards. I think let's see. I didn't really get to see his final stat line. Yeah, they did that. But 2+ sacks, they definitely got that. And contain Josh Allen, they did that. They honestly played okay. The Panthers, overall, honestly, what I wanted them to do, they did it. It's just the fact that their offense can't hold on to the football and just sustain drives, and that's why their defense is not playing great right now. Josh Allen, 19 of 34, 210, 3 touchdowns to pick. He was about decent. Devin Singletary, 22 for 86 and 1 touchdown. Thank you for running the ball. Josh Allen, 3 for 24. Just make him 3 runs. 21 points, no turnovers, 20+ rush attempts. They definitely got 20. They got 1 player, 20+ points, no turnovers. They did that. I'll give them a plus. Defense, they didn't stop the run. They're getting a minus. I'm joking. They get an underscore. They honestly didn't play great at all, but they gave them 14 points. Unless you're literally playing the Jaguars and you lose because your defense can't hold in the end, and you give them 14 points, I'm not giving you a minus. They played well. They played good, but they didn't play great. Okay, now this game was just a straight up clunker for the Cardinals. I'm not surprised they lost this either. Well, I'm shocked. The Lions at home blow out the Cardinals 30-12. Lions, they won their second game. Good for them. Cardinals won 10-4. Cardinals, no offense, they might not win the division. Kyler Murray sucked. 23-41, 257, 1 touchdown, a pick. He was not good. Even though they did run the ball really well, which they should have just done the whole game, because they can run the football against a lot of teams. Christian Kirk though had a really good game. Zach Ertz, same thing. AJ Green, not really. He had a couple garbage time catches. I'm saying these two guys because Amani Oriarwe is not a slot corner. When you put him in the slot, Christian Kirk's going to burn him, which he did. Rondale Moore, you need to get him more involved. Their offense sucked. They didn't score. They didn't get in the red zone. Run the ball visually. They did suck in the red zone. Run the ball visually. They did that. And then no turnovers. Heck no. They're just going to turn over the ball. Defensively, they were pretty bad too. They had 2 sacks, but my goodness, their secondary got roasted by 5th-string receivers on the Rams. Yeah, I'm saying that there's 3 receivers on that team that would be 5th-string practice squad guys on the Rams. That's just telling you something. Stop the run, no. Hold on, no. They get a minus. That was awful. The Cardinals, you're not going to win games. Lions were flawless, though. Jared Goff, best game of his season, 21 of 26, 216, 3 touchdowns. Craig Reynolds, great game, 26 for 112. Jamar Jefferson's not a running back. Amon-Ra St. Brown, good, you carried the ball. Amon-Ra St. Brown, like I said, 8 for 90, touchdown. Honestly, him and Josh Reynolds would be the only guys on the team next year, or maybe Cleve McRaymond for for kick return, or like Jamal Agnew. But they don't really have it. Like, these 3 guys, they're like 3rd, 4th, 5th receiver. Amon-Ra St. Brown, really need to put him as a 2nd, 3rd receiver. But he's like a really good 3rd-string receiver. Josh Reynolds, 4th, 5th guy. Same thing. Khalif Raymond's not really a receiver. He's more of a returner. Honestly, I'm giving them a plus. They just played really well. You like Jared Goff. When this team puts up 30 points, they're gonna win, and here's why. Because when the Lions put up 30 points, they probably had a good game. Charles Harris, best game of his career. Monty Oriarwe, like he's their best player. Because C.J. Hawkinson is out right now. Contain Kyler and always put off on the boundary. They did not let anything get over top of them. It was great defense. They get a plus. I'm done talking about the worst game of the week. Now Gus Johnson had to call it. That's the best thing about it. It was so funny. If you guys don't know who Gus Johnson is, he's a college football announcer. He also does the NFL sometimes. But that guy, I love when he shouts. He's like, yeah! But yeah, if you want to watch football, I definitely suggest watching games with Gus Johnson, unless you're watching your team, of course. Next game, though, Cowboys won 21-6. Their offense was awful. Their defense was not great. Honestly, they weren't that good, but the Giants' offense is the worst in the NFL. Yeah, I said it. But yeah, the Cowboys won 21-6. They're not 10-4. Giants are at 4-10. They're awful. Honestly, they were not good. Tony Pollard, 12 for 74, good for you. Zeke just can't really run the ball anymore. 16 for 52 and a touchdown. Dak, look at those numbers. He was not good, though. 28 of 37, 217 touchdown. He really struggled, honestly. Dalton Schultz had a decent game, though. Same thing with CeeDee Lamb, Amari Cooper, you can't play like this against the Giants. Same thing with Michael Gallup. They got to play better. Honestly, they're getting a minus. They put up 21 points against the Giants defense. That honestly it's not a terrible defense. I'd say it's decent, but this Cowboys offense is not the same it used to be. Let me put it that way. They're in a slump. Defensively, though, yeah, they had a sack, 3 picks, 4 turnovers. Overall, I'm giving them a plus just because they gave up 6 points and had 4 turnovers. Against a better team, they got to play better, though. Honestly, I know how crazy that sounds. 3 plus sacks, 3 plus turnovers. They both stopped the run. They did all that. But you played an awful offense. You shouldn't really expect much. Mike Glennon was awful. 13 of 24, 99 yards, 3 picks. Jake Fromm was a lot better. 6 of 12 for 82. Half of these were drop passes. If you didn't know if you don't want to know who Jake Fromm is, he's a really good field general. Other than that, though, he won't get you anything done. He doesn't have a run game. Usually struggles. Saquon was awful, 15 for 50. Well, I'm joking. Their offensive line can't get any penetration. They were just getting pushed back, and Saquon had to juke out of left and right. You put Saquon on the Cowboys offensive line, he's going for 200 a game. Devontae Booker, though, you look at him. Honestly, Saquon just doesn't. They know when Saquon's running. Devontae Booker, here's a couple things. Devontae Booker had 2 big runs. He had a 30-yarder and a 25-yarder. Take those away. He's 6 for 40, okay? So yeah, those are good numbers. Saquon is going in there, and they're going to think, we got to stop Saquon. Devontae Booker, like, screw him. We're trying to stop the pass now. Devontae Booker, yeah, he's a good running back. Honestly, way better than Saquon. I got to admit that. Saquon needs to be better. Honestly, that's just the simple. But Devontae Booker, you got to remember, like, when Saquon's out there, they're trying to stop him. I don't really know much. I wouldn't really think the same about the Devontae Booker, though. They even, like, obviously, run the ball usually no. From the play action, balance, no. Tempo plays, protect QB, absolutely not. Their offensive line is really bad. I get that. Will Hernandez, below average. Nate Solder, bad. Not terrible, but bad. Who else do they have? I can think. Whatever. Matt Pert, bad. Andrew Thomas, bad. There you go. But for the Giants team, it stopped the running pressure Prescott. They played honestly really good game. Yeah, I guess I'm getting the Solomon team, but they had 3 sacks. They did their job. I wouldn't say they get a minus. They get actually, I'll give them a plus. They definitely played well enough to win, but they lost because their offense is awful. Hey, the Raiders are up 10-0. Score checking, I guess. Okay, now we go to the NFL on CBS. This game, actually a really good game, honestly. I'd watch this game and be like, that was a good game. Yeah, Steelers pulled out 19-13. They go to 7-6-1. Titans fall to 9-5. Speaking of Titans, Ryan Tannehill, 23 of 32, 153, an interception. Dante Foreman, 22 for 108. Dontrell Hilliard, 9 for 49. Ryan Tannehill had a touchdown on the ground. Titans always run the ball for over 400 yards, 200 yards, 4 touchdowns. They didn't really commit to it. That was my problem. They didn't like just full on bulldoze like they should have. Steelers' run defense is pretty bad. It's just not been good. Usually they have a top 10. I wouldn't say it's top 5. It's never amazing. It's usually good. It hasn't been good so far this year. Their offense gets an underscore. Like they did enough. Like they didn't do enough to win, but they did enough. Like they weren't good, but I'm not like they ran the ball decent. Ryan Tannehill wasn't good. I wouldn't say he was awful. And considering these receivers, I can't really say anything bad. Like, I literally would take the Lions receiving core over these guys. Like, Julio didn't even play. But yeah, no offense to you Titans fans, but your offense, I'm considering this game okay. 19-13, they lost. Defensively, they actually played a pretty decent game. They had 2 sacks, actually 3. 4 sacks, double Claypool and Deontay Johnson. They didn't double Claypool, and that's why he had a couple big catches. 4 sacks, they had 3. I think that was enough. They're getting an underscore. Like, Titans played okay. They weren't good, but they played okay. Like, their defense, I watched them play. They just didn't really shock me, really, or, like, I wasn't surprised. I was surprised that, the Steelers scored 19 points with 16 of 25 for 148. Najee Harris ran the ball for 12 times, 18 yards, 1.5 per carry. Like I said, Oh, yeah. This is messed up, but Claypool, he didn't get doubled, and he still didn't do anything. Deontay Johnson got doubled and did something. The Steelers' offense was bad. Najee Harris just didn't run the ball well. Their offense was bad. The Titans' defense was okay. The Titans' offense was okay. The Steelers' defense, though, honestly, like, they were okay, too. This game's so hard to, say. It was just a close defensive game. They had, they had 4 sacks a pick. I watched them play. I think they were a little better than the Titans offense, but not by much. Yeah, they had 4 sacks. They had they had a big turnover, and just came down to the end. I think both teams played okay. Like Steelers offense obviously didn't play well, but other than that, honestly, the Titans played a better game, but they still lost just because they couldn't convert in the end. Kind of happens like that sometimes. Just don't win in the end. Okay, now we'll go to the later games. First game we're doing, this game was just a straight up kind of domination. The Falcons didn't get blown out exactly, but I would call it a blowout. They lost 31-13. They fall to 6-8. Definitely not making the playoffs anymore. 49ers go to Insect, but they do get to play the Lions. And who else do they play? And the Saints. This team could literally finish 8-9. That's kind of crazy. They're a terrible team. Matt Ryan was 19 of 32, 236 and a touchdown. They didn't really run the ball at all. When they did, it ran for nothing. Like, this is even worse. Almost as bad as Najee Harris. Russell Gage had a good game, 8 for 91 touchdowns. Kyle Pitts struggled, but 4 for 77. Falcons Diamonds run the ball officially, no turnovers. They're actually getting a minus. They just couldn't really do anything the whole game. They lost because of it. Defensively, they were really bad. They didn't like. Fully Aluakun, he could not guard George Kittle. I'm sorry, you need to put AJ Terrell on him. Even if that brings Brandon Ayuk or Debo open, like literally just Grady Jarrett's getting to the passer, and Deion Jones, you gotta have him on him. Fully Aluakun is a run stopper. Deion Jones, pass cover. He can't stop the run too though. They have like these are Fully Aluakun, inside middle linebacker. Deion Jones, always on their best tight end. Grady Jarrett, always up the middle. AJ Terrell, always on their best receiver. And like these 4 guys are good defensive players. They gotta use them the right way. Dante Fowler Jr. couldn't get the quarterback. Tyler Davidson is even a good player. Like they just didn't get anything right. They didn't get 6 men in the box. They didn't do really anything well. That's why they're getting a minus. 49ers offense, they didn't run the ball 35 plus times. Jeff Wilson had a good game. Debo Samuel had 6 for 29. Jimmy G was okay, 18 of 23, 235 touchdown. Like I said, George Kittle had 6 for 93. Samuel 4 for 60, and Brandon Ayuk had 1 big catch. Juwan Jennings 3 for 28 and a touchdown. They didn't run the ball 35 plus times, but they did it in a different way, so I will give them a plus. Like they scored 31. You can't really get a minus unless you just throw 5 pick sixes. Defensively, they did have 3 sacks. They did do their job. Honestly, like they were playing a bad offense. I literally said stop the run, pressure Ryan. They did exactly that. They just did their game plans. The Niners played to their game plan, and they ended up dominating the Falcons. Okay. This game, honestly, the Bengals should not have won this. Really should not have won this game. Broncos had the game in their clips, but they fought a 7-7, 15-10 was your final. Bengals go to 8-6. Like I said, the Broncos fought a 7-7. Huge win for the Bengals. They go to 8, like I said, but this game was defensive struggle the whole way. But if the Broncos if Teddy Bridgewater didn't get hurt, hope he gets better, they would have lost this game. Bengals would have lost this game. Either way, Joe Burrow really conservative, but he was not bad at all. 15 of 22, 157 touchdown. Joe Mixon was not efficient. Samaje Perine was though. Tyler Boyd had a good game, 5 for 96 and a touchdown. Jamar Chase wasn't getting open. Keegan's 2 for 23. Bengals having 30 plus minutes time possession, 30 rushing times, no turnovers. They didn't play well. I'll give them a minus. They didn't. No, you know I'll give them an underscore. Here's why. They didn't turn over the ball and they had the ball most of the game. That's why I'm giving them an underscore. They just struggled really. But when they didn't turn over the ball, there's 2 sides to the Bengals. They score a lot of points. They turn over the ball a lot. Then they play really conservative. They don't run the ball. They don't really do anything well, but they keep the ball for a good amount of time, and they don't turn over the ball, which is kind of what you want in the teams like this against a not great offense, so you just take advantage of that, which they did. Their defense, though, really took advantage of Teddy Bridgewater being out. They had 2 sacks. They really clamped down in the end. No, they had 3 sacks. They did stop the run, so I will give them a plus. They definitely were the reason they won the game. Kind of like the Broncos offense, I can't really give them anything to say about them. Drew Lock, honestly, he could have been worse, but he missed on some big throws. Javonte Williams and Melvin Gordon, overall, I'd say they were decent. Overall, I'm saying. But they didn't run the ball enough either. Like I said, stop the run. I'm Bengals defense, you didn't really do it well, but you kind of held them under both 20 carries, so I can't be mad. Teddy B, though, when he was in the game, they were moving the ball pretty well, 12 22, 98 yards. Drew Lock, though, missed on some throws, did throw a touchdown, though, on 88 yards. He's a downfield throw passer, if you didn't know. He turns over the ball. Did run the ball over 25 times, balance play action. They did do that, but they just didn't really get anything going. They couldn't finish in the end. Probably because they had Drew Lock, but also they just didn't play great. I'm not giving them a minus because they did. I kind of have to give them a pass, but they did actually move the ball decently well in the second half until the end. Bengals defense, they stopped the run. Yes. Pressure Burrow, yes. 1, 4, 3 sacks. 2 high safeties 40% of the time. They did 20 and 3 plus turnovers. Didn't get any turnovers, but oh gosh, do I give them a plus? No. They just great. You know what? Yeah, they get a plus. It was a defensive game. I'll give them a plus. They did enough, but couldn't get forced a turnover, partly because the Bengals were just running screens the whole game. Okay, we're done with that one. We got 2 games to go. This game, honestly, I don't know anything about John Harbough other than the fact that he doesn't really like to run the ball. The Browns are going to score a point in the second half. But this America's Game of the Week, you got to take the 1 point. They lost because they just couldn't do the conversion. As you can see, Tom Brady is happy. Here's the Packers are now 11-3. They won 31-30 in a game they should have won to overtime. Ravens 14-6 to lose their 3rd straight. Packers offense, Aaron Rodgers 23-31, 268, 3 touchdowns, a good game. Aaron Jones 13 for 58. A.J. Dillon, 7 for 22 and a touchdown. Aaron Rodgers had 1 big run. I'm joking. He didn't. When he ran the ball, it was for like a yard every time. MVS had a good game, 5 for 98, touchdown. Devontae Adams, not great, but 6 for 44 and a touchdown. Mercedes Lewis, 3 for 40. Alan Lazard, 2 for 23. Tyler Davis had 1 catch for 22 yards, and then Joshua Dugard, their tight end, had 3 for 16, along with Mercedes Lewis. Combined that, pretty good game. 25 was runs. They did not. They barely got it. They got it by no runs. They just got it. Protect Rodgers. Nah, didn't do that great. Check downs to deep shots. They did that well. I'll give them a plus. They did their job. They scored 31. They definitely got the job done in the end, so they're getting a plus. They could have been better, but honestly, it wasn't a bad game at all. Defensively, 1 pick. They were not good. They were worse than last week. Stop the run. Under 20. Nope. They get a minus, and here's why. You can't give them 30 points to the Ravens. Expect to beat teams like the I don't even know. They're gonna get the number 1 seed. You shouldn't be concerned, Packers fans. But you gotta remember, you can't give up that many points and expect to win games. Just saying, because Packers are not putting up 31 every week. It's just kind of common sense. Okay, but back to this. Ravens offense, they played a heck of a game. 28 of 42, 15 to 2 touchdowns for Tyler Huntley. That was not his fault in the end. John Harbough was just being an idiot. Tyler Huntley, though, 13 for 73 and 2 touchdowns. Latavius Murray got the job done. Devontae Freeman was not great. Mark Andrews did a great game for him. 10 for 136 and 2 touchdowns. Marquise Goodwin, 10 for 43. Great game for their offense. They have to give them a plus. 40 offensive minutes possession. They couldn't get that. Run the ball for over 200. They couldn't get that. They did tie it up in the end, though. They got the game, what should have been overtime, but just couldn't get there. They get a plus, though. Defensively, like, for what it was, I can't give them a minus. They had 3 sacks. They did have some big stops. I will give them an underscore. 25 minutes possession time, I think they got that. Hold the offense under, and then under 20 points. Couldn't get that done, but I think they did well enough for them to win, considering the circumstances, but still. Packers should be the number 1 seed. They're not officially, but who knows? Oh, they didn't score a point, but okay, now next game. Last game we're doing Sunday Night Football. Tom Brady can't beat the Saints. Hot take? No. Here's why. The Saints offense, without their head coach, without their best running back, without their quarterback, without everybody, they won 9-0. The Bucs got shut out. Tom Brady's been shut out 3 times in his career. Saints defense, heck of a game. They're now 7-7. Bucs fall to 10-4. They're gonna get the number 1. They're gonna get the division, but imagine if they just lose that. That'd be funny. Taysom Hill not good. 13 of 27, 154. They didn't really run the ball well. I don't really care about the receiving game. Oh yeah, Marcus Galloway had a really good game. Other than that, though, like no. Their offense scored 9 points. Like you didn't play a game when you scored 9 points. But the Saints defense, they were perfect. Perfect. 4 sacks, a pick, pressure on every single down. Nothing was open for Tom Brady. They made them throw the ball, and here's why. They made them throw the ball because they had everyone in the box, even without actually really stopping the run. That's the funny thing about it. They stacked the box, Tom had to throw it, and the receivers were not getting open. The linebackers, that's the best game I've seen from linebackers this season. David Onyemata had a great game. Yeah, I get that. Where is he? Demario Davis, heck of a game. Chauncey Gardner, heck of a game. Cameron Jordan, great game. Where is he? No. Pete Werner, heck of a game. Carl Granderson, heck of a game. Their whole defense played outstanding. I don't need to say much other than the fact that that's the defensive masterpiece. Bucks offense, they were awful. They stacked the box. They ran the ball over 8 times with Ronald Jones. He was the hot hand. They stopped running with him because they stacked the box. And Leonard Fournette was in. They did not let him run the ball. Tom was not great. 26 for 48, 214 to interception. Chris Godwin 6 for 49. Like, he had an okay game. Mike Evans was not getting open. Defensively, they just sacked. Honestly, 2 sacks. They did well enough to win. They should have won this game. Their defense played great. Contain Kamara, no, they did exactly that. But that Saints defense, that was amazing. Either way, guys, that was a long recap. Hope you guys liked it. Like, subscribe. Hope you enjoyed. That's going to be in the Week 15 recap. We got Week 15 Monday Night Football and NFL Network special recap tomorrow. Wednesday, we got the NFL and Fox Tuesday special recap. Tuesday night special recap. And then we have the power rankings on Wednesday, too. So hope you guys stay tuned for those. It'll be awesome either way. Like, subscribe, hope you enjoyed. It's the end of the Week 15 recap.